Have you ever wondered what happens when two Ukrainian pilots daringly fly MiG-29 jets through a deadly valley facing Russia's advanced air defense systems to protect their homeland? In this video, we'll witness a breathtakingly bold mission. Two fighter jets flying low at just 100 meters, evading S-400 radar, Tor M2 and Bum M3 missiles, while a Russian Su-30 lurks behind with AASM hammer bombs ready to destroy a Russian UAV command center. Every second is a life-or-death struggle. Can they complete the mission and return safely? Comment number 1, and let's dive into this thrilling story. To Ukrainian MiG-29. Jets streak through the valley at an altitude of 100 meters after burners roaring as a Russian Su-30 approaches from a distance of 40 kilometers in 15 minutes. They will drop AASM hammer bombs on a Russian UAV command post, which has been orchestrating drone attacks on civilian infrastructure for weeks. But first, they must penetrate a dense air defense network of S-400, Tor M2, and Buk M3 systems. If they fail, Ukrainian cities will face devastation within hours. They must stop it now. The flight formation climbs to an altitude of 200 meters, veering northeast, using the gentle hills of Sumy province to conceal their movements. Every meter of the route is meticulously planned to exploit gaps in Russian radar coverage identified through months of electronic reconnaissance. As they enter the contested border region, both pilots know they are stepping into the most dangerous airspace on Earth. The first sign of trouble comes from a new S-400 battalion in Kursk, activating its 92 and 6E gravestone radar, a long-range surveillance system mounted on a truck-sized tower. The radar's phased array, composed of hundreds of small antenna elements, electronically sweeps the sky without moving parts, covering a wide arc along the horizon. The radar signal washes over the two MiG-29 jets at an altitude of 140 meters. At this range, the radar cannot achieve a weapons-grade lock on the small, low-flying fighters, but it detects an anomaly. This anomaly is flagged for investigation. The S-400's alert is relayed through the integrated air defense network to a patrolling Su-30 flight 80 kilometers away. The Su-30 pilot on a dawn patrol receives coordinates directing them toward the anomaly. They don't need visual confirmation. Their BAR's radar can resolve low-flying targets against the terrain, especially if they pop up even for a moment. Meanwhile, 20 kilometers from the two MiG-29 jets, a Ukrainian Brokart TB2 drone circles at an altitude of 18,000 feet. Its MX-15D electropedical sensor has been monitoring the target area for 6 hours, recording every movement. The drone operator stationed in a control van near Sumy counts 14 Orlan 10 reconnaissance drones launching from a repurposed agricultural building. Each takeoff confirms Ukrainian intelligence suspicions. This is a major drone hub. The TB2's presence serves two purposes: relaying satellite-linked real-time target data to the MiG-29s, and more critically acting as a decoy. Russian air defense systems often prioritize shooting down this drone, revealing their positions. Today, a Poner S-1 battery near Yakino falls for the trap. Its radar lights up to track the TB2, inadvertently broadcasting its position to Ukrainian electronic warfare equipment. The lead MiG-29 pilot notices a spike in the Pantsir's radar signal on the SP-015. Warning receiver adjusting the flight path 5 eastward. This maneuver places a low hill range between the aircraft and the missile site, breaking the line of sight. But the adjustment burns fuel and time, forcing the pilot to throttle up to maintain the schedule. The louder engine noise carries through the morning air, an aging Russian ground-based acoustic sensor similar to Cold War-era Arca Systems detects the engine sound at a range of 30 kilometers. These passive systems don't provide precise targeting data, but they confirm hostile aircraft approaching from the southwest. The information is relayed to the regional command, where a colonel orders all air defense systems to maximum readiness. Suddenly, every radar operator east of Kursk begins scanning. They're assigned sectors with heightened intensity. The Su-30 pilot receives updated coordinates from ground control. His radar still sweeps empty skies, but the acoustic data narrows the search area. He descends to 5,000 meters, accelerates to Mach 1.2. is preparing for a high-speed intercept. In 4 minutes, he'll be within range of his R-77 missiles. The Ukrainian pilots have less time than they think. Music. 15 kilometers from Yakino, the lead MiG-29 pilot faces a critical decision. The mission requires releasing the hammer bombs at an altitude of 8,000 feet to maximize their glide range. But climbing exposes them too. Every air defense system. The SPO-15 receiver detects multiple search radars painting them. In 30 seconds, some of those radars will switch to target locking mode. Suddenly, the TV-2 drone above Banks sharply left. Its operator has spotted a Tor M2 battery activating in. The tree line below, the mobile Tor M2 missile system, is a genuine threat. Unlike older systems requiring continuous radar lock, the Tor can detect, track, and engage in under 8 seconds. It's 9M338. Missiles are designed to destroy low-flying aircraft in cluttered environments. The lead MiG pilot executes a sharp turn to evade the Tor's position. However, this maneuver unwittingly falls into a Russian trap, pushing the MiG-29 off its planned route. The Tor operator herds them toward another threat, a Buckham 3 battery on the eastern ridge. This is a classic. SAM trap using one system to drive the target toward another. The wingman pilot spots the trap first, the radar. Warning system shows the book's 9S36M radar shifting from search to target lock. This modern phased array system can engage targets at a range of 70 kilometers. And they're within that range. But the Ukrainian pilots are trained for this. Instead of fleeing, they turn directly into the threat, accelerating to close the distance while deploying chaff. Music. The bold maneuver disrupts the book's fire control computer. The system expects targets to flee, not charge forward. As the book operator adjusts, the MiG-29s have already passed the missile's minimum range. But the evasive actions cost them altitude and speed, critical energy needed for the bombing run. The TB-2 drone operator, recognizing the dire situation, commands the drone to activate its altimeter and weather radar, generating electronic jamming to overload Russian receivers. The jamming isn't sophisticated, but it's enough to degrade radar. Performance for a few critical seconds. The tour operator loses the target in the clutter, their screen flooded with false signals, seizing the electronic smokescreen. The lead MiG-29 pilot executes a rapid climb to 8,000 feet at the apex. Teetering on the edge of stall speed, he releases 2 hammer bombs in quick succession. The weapons separate cleanly, their rocket motors igniting after a 2-con delay. The pilot immediately dives, trading altitude for speed. The radar warning receiver blar with new alerts. The hammer bombs try. Mode guidance activates mid-flight. GPS provides primary navigation, but Russian jamming clogs the L1 and L2 frequencies, rendering them useless. The bombs switch to inertial guidance with laser ring gyros maintaining accuracy within 3M as they near the target. The infrared seekers activate, homing in with heat signature identified by the TB-2 drone. The second MiG-29 reaches bombing altitude just as the Buckham 3 battery achieves a solid target lock. The pilot has 5 seconds before missile launch. He releases both hammer bombs toward the secondary target, a building identified by Ukrainian intelligence as a drone operator hideout. As the bombs leave the aircraft, he executes a 7G diving turn, deploying chaff and flares. 2 9M317M missiles launch from the book battery, accelerating to Mach 4 in seconds. These aren't old semi-active missiles. They use active radar guidance capable of pulling high Gs in the terminal phase. The MiG pilot tracks the missiles on the missile approach warning system. With his current speed and altitude, he has 22 seconds. He executes a final maneuver, a vertical dive combined with a barrel roll, creating a spiraling flight path. This technique forces the missiles to constantly recalculate their lead angles, while the aircraft's rapidly changing aspect reduces the radar signature. Combined with continuous chaff deployment, it generates enough error to defeat the first missile. The second missile, launched 3 seconds later, learns from the first's failure. Its seeker anticipates the spiral pattern and adjusts. As impact looms, the pilot pulls maximum Gs to reverse the spiral's direction. The missile tries to follow, but runs out of energy, detonating 30 meters away due to its proximity fuse. Shrapnel grazes the MiG's tail, but the engines remain operational. Music, both jets race toward Ukrainian airspace at treetop altitude. The hammer bombs are now in their terminal phase beyond recall. Behind them, the Su-30 closes the gap to 40
While the
kilometers.
pilots fight for their
and
lives,
locks its radar. What happens next is even more harrowing. The lead pilot checks the fuel. The target is 4 minutes away. The Su-30 pilot has just achieved a solid lock. The SPO-15 receiver erupts with warnings. 2 active radar R-77 missiles have launched from the Su-30. Once fired, their active seekers hunt independently. Music, the Ukrainian pilots face a brutal choice climb and maneuver to defeat the missiles, exposing themselves to SAM systems or stay low and hope the terrain disrupts the missile's flight path. They choose to stay low. The morning sun, now risen above the horizon, unexpectedly becomes their savior. The lead pilot banks hard right, positioning the sun directly behind the aircraft. The R-77 seekers, designed to filter out ground clutter, suddenly face a massive infrared source. The pilot amplifies the confusion by releasing flares during a climbing spiral, creating a thermal ladder between the aircraft and the sun. The first missile struggles to distinguish the flares, the aircraft, and the sun. It selects the brightest, target the sun, and streaks off into infinity. But the second missile, launched 3 seconds later, learns from the first's data before it veers off. It ignores the sun and flares, zeroing in on the MiG's engine heat. The wingman's radar warning. Seaver screams in urgent tone. The missile closes at terrifying speed. Impact in 6 seconds. At the last moment, the wingman executes a variant of the Cobra maneuver, yanking the nose vertical while cutting thrust. The MiG hangs like a hockey stick, its heat signature vanishing for an instant. The R-77 missile streaks past mere meters away its proximity fuse, failing to detect the nearly stationary target. As the missile overshoots, the pilot slams the throttle to maximum and dives back to treetop level, but the maneuver betrays their position to every Russian air defense system. A battalion commander monitoring the engagement from an S-400 sees an opportunity. At 90 kilometers, he can't achieve a solid lock on the MiGs, but he can force them to move. He orders a barrage of 448 N-60M missiles in barrier mode. The massive SAMs erupt in columns of smoke, each carrying a 180 kilograms warhead. They aren't aimed at specific aircraft, but are programmed to detonate at predetermined points, creating a wall of shrapnel across the MiG's flight path. Music, the costly tactic. Each missile, worth $2 million, forces the Ukrainian pilots to burn their dwindling fuel reserves to evade. The lead pilot assesses the situation instantly. Circling around the missile barrage would add 40 kilometers to their route. Impossible with their current fuel. Flying through it means threading between explosion zones with mere meters of error. Both MiGs drop to an altitude of 50 meters, so low that the engine exhaust kicks up water trails over a farm's shallow pond. Do you support this fight? If yes, comment number 2. Not, comment number 5. Music, the S-400 missiles detonate 500 meters above Shrap. Raining down like a metal storm, a fragment pierces the wing of the lead MiG, but fortunately misses critical systems. The target looms ahead. To deploy the hammer bombs effectively, they need to reach 8,000 feet, the optimal altitude for maximum glide range. But climbing makes them predictable targets for every SAM system in the area. The lead pilot checks the clock. 7:45 in 15 seconds. They must reach bombing altitude. Both MiGs simultaneously engage after ERNAs, trading their last fuel reserves for altitude. The rapid climb pushes them past 5,000 feet, then 6,000. Then 7,000. Each foot of altitude improves the hammer bomb's glide ratio, but also makes them more vulnerable to attack. At 8,000 feet, the bombing computer flashes green. Target coordinates are locked. Distance to target is optimal. At 7:01, the release sequence begins. 4 AASM hammer bombs detach from the MiG's wings in an instant. Their guidance fins deploy immediately. Each bomb weighs 340 kilograms, consisting of a standard 500 pounds Mk82 warhead fitted with a French-designed AASM kit. The kit includes folding wings for a 15-to-1 glide ratio and a sophisticated tail section, housing guidance systems and a propulsion motor. The small solid rocket motor in the tail provides 10 seconds of thrust, extending the range beyond 60 kilometers. When released from altitude, the tri-mode guidance system activates immediately. GPS signals. A switch to inertial navigation. The INS uses laser ring gyros, accurate to 0.011 per hour, maintaining position data without satellite input as a backup. Each bomb carries an uncooled infrared imaging seeker in its nose. Music, the infrared seeker can identify pre-programmed target shapes, even through smoke or thin clouds. During the 15-second glide, the bomb's flight control computer continuously adjusts its small fins, deflecting 30 times per second to correct the trajectory. The true sophistication lies in the SJU-64 smart fuse system. Unlike simple impact or timed fuses, this programmable system uses accelerometers to count floors as the bomb penetrates. The fuse measures deceleration patterns. Concrete produces sharp acceleration spikes. Empty spaces offer no resistance, and steel creates a distinct signature. Weapons specialists programmed each fuse differently. The command center for avoid detection after 2 floors. The vehicle yard for immediate surface detonation. The safe house for a basement. Explosion, the maintenance depot for an airburst. The first hammer bomb strikes the UAV command post at 70,115. Its hardened steel penetrator, designed to withstand impacts at 280 meters per second, punches through the roof. The smart fuse counts the first floor penetration, registers 85 Gs of deceleration in 0.003 seconds. The second floor is similar. Then it detects a void. With deceleration near zero, the fuse waits precisely 0.015 seconds to position the warhead in the middle of the room before detonating. The second bomb hits the vehicle yard. Its fuse, programmed for super quick mode, detonates in 0.003 seconds post-impact. The infrared seeker guides the bomb to the hot exhaust of a fuel truck. On impact, a crush switch in the nose activates before penetration, maximizing the blast effect against soft targets. The warhead's fragmentation casing spews 6,000 steel fragments across a 35 meters kill radius. The third bomb strikes the wooden safe house. The fuse detects minimal resistance. It registers only 5 Gs compared to concrete's 85 Gs. It counts through floor beams and support columns, waiting for the basement void. The fourth bomb hits the maintenance depot, detonating 3 meters above the floor to maximize fragment dispersal. The destruction unfolds with mathematical precision. The command sense middle floors are obliterated, causing the upper structure to collapse straight down, and communication equipment are crushed under thousands of tons of concrete. At the vehicle yard, the fuel truck's explosion creates a 20 meters fireball, engulfing nearby control vehicles, melting satellite antennas and information arrays. The safe house implodes as its basement foundation vanishes. The maintenance depot becomes a storm of shrapnel, shredding everything inside. Orlan 10 drones in Ukrainian skies simultaneously lose control signals without ground station commands. They switch to autonomous return mode, slowly circling back toward a base now ablaze under columns of black smoke. The entire drone control network in the region command center control vehicles maintenance facility is obliterated in 30 seconds of precisely coordinated destruction. Music. The lesson from the daring mission of the 2 Ukrainian pilots is the power of meticulous preparation and courage in extreme conditions. Every meter of their route was carefully calculated, of tactics and intelligence. Despite facing threats from S-400, Torm M2, M3, and Su-30 systems, they remained steadfast in completing their mission, protecting civilians. This story reminds us that determination paired with smart Ukrainian pilots, risking everything to penetrate Russia's air defense gauntlet and destroy a UAV command center, saving cities from devastating attacks. From breathtaking maneuvers to the precise coordination of AASM hammer bombs, this story is a testament to courage and tactical brilliance. What do you think of this mission? Would you dare sit in the cockpit in such a situation? Leave a comment, sharing your thoughts, and don't forget to like and share the video to spread this thrilling story. See you in the next.